Hello and welcome to another Bayonne Today. We're here today with some familiar faces from town. What would be unfamiliar is their sign behind them, which is announcing their business that they have underneath the bridge. There's a lot of stuff going on downtown, guys. I'd like to welcome Victor Pesantez and Christopher Piechocki to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We have, of course, we have some stuff to talk about in town that we never had before. My understanding through Victor is that Victor did the show once before, and he had ideas about other things that he thought would be good for Bayonne. And now we're here to talk about what the concept is and what his to be continued actually is. So Victor, take over.
Well, yeah, like about a year ago, exactly, probably to date, you interviewed me, and at the end you said, what are your future goals? And I had said my future goals would be to actually own an indoor soccer facility.
Okay, now why do we need an indoor soccer facility?
Well, from my point of view, there was my league is going on 4 years. I have an indoor that we spoke about last time, the Bayonne Futsal, which is now Peninsula City Futsal Club, and there's about 400 kids in it, and it's very overwhelming to deal with scheduling between all the gyms I rent in town, either private or through the Board of Ed, and it was needed for the parents. They wanted set places, and besides that, there's an expansion to the Peninsula City with baseball. So there's a lot of kids that go out of town for baseball, batting cages and stuff, and that wasn't available here. So after meeting Chris, through his son coming to futsal, I'll let him take over how everything. We started striking up some conversation. And
okay, for people that haven't seen the first show though, futsal is
indoor soccer. It's 5 against 5. It's played on a smaller court, about basketball size court. Ball is less bouncy, and it provides a lot of skill for the kids. It develops a lot. Actually, I went to a travel meeting the other day, and all of the United States is starting to go to FIFA. Your normal 11-on-11 is actually going down to 7 against 7. So they're actually starting to realize the U.S. is the last country to actually do that, where they're adapting the smaller-sided games so kids could get more touches and everybody gets involved.
Okay, so and Christopher's interest, of course, was through Jake.
Yes, my son is part of the soccer league.
Okay.
Victor was very helpful with him from day one. I approached Victor about asking him about how my son can improve on his soccer skills. He gave Jake some pointers, and the next day he scored his first goal.
Really?
So, I automatically knew that, Victor knew what he was doing, and it was a program that I wanted my son to be a part of. And, the rest is history. We decided to go into partnership together and open up a facility which is much needed to the town, for the town. And it's really an exciting time.
So the facility is located at 9 Gertude Street. Now, for people that don't know, Gertude Street isn't one of the most popular streets in town. So the only thing that you could use as a landmark to find city sports is the Bayonne Bridge, because it's directly underneath the Bayonne Bridge. And we know that the Bayonne Bridge is undergoing quite a renovation, and there's a lot of activity down there. But this particular facility has added to the excitement of what is happening downtown in Bayonne. And when I say downtown, I mean under the bridge, under 8th Street, which will then also lead into the development that's happening down by Texaco. So that's a part of town that slept for a very long time, and now all of a sudden you have so many exciting things happening there. Now, City Sports, obviously, is placed on top of a lot of greenery. So when I come to City Sports, what do I see when I walk in?
Well, we were fortunate enough to have been contacted by Perk Up Cafe, who will be our concession vendor. And they will be selling packaged food drinks.
Okay.
You can grab a coffee or an espresso before your child's game begins.
Okay.
We have a full state-of-the-art facility, full turf field.
Okay, a turf. Now, by turf, this is artificial grass.
Artificial grass.
Okay. Doesn't require watering. No watering. No
it's,
sunshine. No.
no.
Okay.
So we kind of appreciated the fact that we have a beautiful brick warehouse with no columns in the middle.
Okay, that
in
was
a very
important.
industrial area.
Okay.
With something that looks like real green grass growing inside of it. It's sort of like an oxymoron.
Okay.
So we have a party room.
A party room. Okay, so it's not only for sports. It's, I mean, I have the cards here. I mean, they're all over town. If you see one and pick it up, you may just be absolutely surprised at all of the different things that are going to be offered there. One of the things that I know that I remember hearing a lot about was that there isn't a place for children's parties in Bayonne. So now this facility will be available for sporting events, for
office party, corporate parties. There's going to be putting greens. A lot of people have contacted us about actually adding like a driving range kind of type thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Indoor. So you'd have indoor golf.
Yeah, there's actually like a software system, computer system, where you go off of a blue screen and it actually looks at your clubs and measures your distance, and you're actually playing an 18-hole
Wow.
inside of a warehouse. You could play it. So.
Okay, so now we're not only talking about children then.
Oh no, everybody. We'll host 40th birthday parties, corporate office parties.
So this is a facility that started out mainly from your interest in futsal, indoor soccer, and has expanded into many other things, which I'll read some of the things off because there are so many of them. Obviously, soccer for all ages, okay? Batting cages. You're going to have a locker room so people can come in with their equipment and things and have a space where they can actually store it, okay? Putting greens you mentioned. Okay, rock climbing. Tell me about that. That sounds really exciting.
Rock climbing will be for the birthday parties mostly, or if there's a person that is a professional rock climber and they want to come and practice in the middle of February. We will have we have one wall in the facility that will have I'm not really sure what they're called, but different steps or handles to be able to climb up the wall. The person will be harnessed in.
Yes.
And it'll be a cantilever from the ceiling. And that's just another option. So when we talk about the birthday parties, we wanted to appeal to all different types of people that like different things. We didn't want to limit it to just soccer people. So, children, adults, my son Jake even said, can we have senior citizen soccer? So we're trying to appeal to a lot of different types of
very kind, senior citizen soccer.
people, especially we're also developing programs for the special ed community.
That's something to expand on.
There's a lack of...
Yes, that's a fabulous location for it, and also the fact that you are contributing within the community the option for people who may have handicapped children to feel as special as every other child should feel, and have a spot to come to and have more or less their own playing field.
Yes, we are handicap accessible. Basically, you can rent the building and the turf by the hour. We can separate it with dividers into different lanes, so we could have one, say, dad or mom playing baseball with in a batting cage with their son or daughter, and then the rest of the field is being rented by people playing soccer, or someone else just using it for field hockey or something like that.
So how large is the facility?
6,200 square feet approximately.
6,200 square feet. Okay,
Yes.
The Bayonne question, of course, which you know is always going to come up, about parking. Tell us about the parking in that area.
You want me to take this, Victor?
Street parking?
Well, yeah, it's street parking. I think we're about a month away where the Bayonne Bridge is actually going to, obviously it's closures right now downtown, but the street parking is going to be actually pretty good there because it's all industrial companies. So Monday through Friday, you have your industrial workers going in there from 8 to 4. 4 o'clock hits, and the whole
Area
block is
looks like a
just,
ghost town.
it's a ghost town down there. Right now, it's closed But even when we're going there at night, it's still open. There's a lot. It's accessible, and on the weekend, it's another ghost town on the weekends.
Well, you have the Kaplan Project across the street, but they have their parking inside. So their people are parking inside their garages, so that's not going to conflict with you at all.
They can come over for a coffee, though, if
They
want.
can. Okay, so we have a little bit of we have a business going on within a business. Okay, so we have the Perk Up Cafe, which is another wonderful new business that opened up here in town, and they'll be on my show soon. And of course, they'll bring some of their goodies with them. But they're there to provide beverages, to provide food. So you have a food concession inside of the business that you have. And then I guess they would then cater the parties and things?
Yes, they will be one of our designated caterers, as well as Mona Lisa, and as well as the Mojito Tropical, which is another restaurant in town.
Okay, great.
And we'll have party menus from each of these businesses for the parents or the adults who are having the parties to choose from. Because we don't want people bringing in outside food, we wanted to make things simple and just have 3 separate businesses.
Okay, so from a simple question, can you help my son with his soccer? You now have started a business in town which has kind of hands that are reaching out to other businesses in town, which will benefit everyone because you're showcasing their particular, the foods that they serve, and you are exposing them to a clientele that might not have even known about them too. So that's a wonderful thing. It's like throwing a pebble into a pool of water, and the ripple effect really is wonderful for the community to see how this can expand. Now let me get back to the list here. Okay, so we have a bounce house and a bubble soccer.
Yes.
Okay, so who wants to talk about that? The bounce house and the bubble soccer, because I heard that adults can use the bubble soccer. Victor.
So,
Yes, the bubble soccer, we have it for all ages, but mostly the adults have tons of fun of it.
Explain what it is.
It's kind of, I don't know if I'm really caught without, I forget the movie, The Bubble Boy, I think it was, where you're actually, the whole body is inside of a bubble and all that's hanging out are your feet. So
Okay.
it's like a harness, kind of like maybe wearing a backpack, and all your feet are just hanging out.
And you're just bouncing off of everything.
Yeah, well, there's going to be a soccer ball there, so you're trying to score a goal. It's an actual game.
Oh my
but
goodness.
Obviously, you're going to have your roughhousing, people flipping around, rolling over, and
Oh my goodness.
it's a great team building opportunity for office parties and things like that. So it's a lot of fun and silly. And we also have a state-of-the-art sound system.
Okay.
So it'll be you can come in and choose your Pandora station that will play over the facility. Camera system for security, but as well inside and outside, but as well just to videotape certain games and things like that. where
Oh,
we're
so you
looking-
can actually videotape when you're having it. Oh, when you're having an event.
Yes.
So then you can leave with an actual tape of the event that you had.
Yes.
Which
not
go
only
ahead.
that, say a 3 and 4-year-old, your little kid scores their first goal. It's worth buying that DVD to bring it home. Your son's first goal scored, so things like that will offer too.
Okay, so now we are expanding again because now it's opening up not only to a food place where you're providing food, you're also providing the opportunity for parents to create memories.
Correct.
And to walk away with, in this age, which is a DVD?
Yes.
I mean, back in the day, in my day, it was a picture. If you were at an amusement park and you were coming down the roller coaster, they'd snap a picture of you. But here you have a DVD that the parents can take home with them, and not only is it good for the child to see what they did, it also is another form of advertising for you and shows how you're moving forward.
Yes. We also are selling apparel. So we have sweatshirts and T-shirts and water bottles and hats and things like that. So.
So the community itself, I mean, I believe you told me that not only Bayonne has responded to this. You have a website, you have an email address, or you have a Facebook page. How has it gotten out there so quickly? Because it has happened fast.
Well, the Facebook page took off like we couldn't believe. I mean, whenever anyone opens a business, I think you feel like we're going to succeed and this is going to be great. But I think anyone who has ever opened a business felt the same way. And there are a lot of businesses that fail. Well, through the reaction from the community, through social networking and just responses and emails and inboxes and text messages and phone calls and shares and likes, and it's just been unbelievable. I mean, We started the Facebook page, and within 1 week we have 800 friends.
Really?
We had on our announcement for the business, we got 72 shares. Now, when I post things just socially about my family, I mean, the most I've ever had was say 2, but 72 shares. Most people have about, say, 1,000 friends. So we reached somewhere in the range of probably about 50,000 people just from one post.
Interesting. Interesting.
People are excited because, I mean, I can tell you, and I'm sure Victor can vouch as well, I mean, I've spent countless weekends, Saturdays and Sundays going away with my family to a birthday party, whether it be in Marlboro or northern New Jersey or Piscataway or Paramus.
So having to leave your own hometown to go and have a party, because I know that most of the young mothers, I hear them talking about it, and they say they can't find a place in Bayonne to do what they want to do. So that income, that money goes out of town too. You guys are keeping everything here in town and making it convenient, not only for the parents and the children, but for the grandparents as well. So obviously you've heard from people who want to book their parties, and
we already have about 10 parties booked, and the email right before I was getting ready to come here today, I was getting messages about birthday parties and other parties, and I just said we are up to our ears in renovation right now, and I said please contact us next week, or we'll have some literature to provide with rates and things like that, so that we can give you the time during a meeting to to get together and really be able to explain more thoroughly what we have to offer.
So what I'm thinking is you guys had the idea, you had the concept, but you probably are almost shocked at the reaction that you have had within the community, knowing that the need was there. But with social media is tricky, because once you put it out on social media, there's no pulling it back, and it does grow, which Christopher is talking about, how fast all of a sudden people start catching on.
We have people driving by, looking in the window. Just last week I was leaving after, we've spent countless hours there. Well, there sometimes until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, just planning and ordering things and organizing, and I was leaving, and it was about 4 o'clock, and there were 2 kids on bikes, and they didn't know that I was one of the owners, and they were looking in the window, and I said, can I help you guys? And they said, we have to tell you, we are just so excited about this new facility. Can we see inside? And I said, absolutely. And the look on their faces was just priceless, to know that we're giving these kids a safe haven to go to. And I brought them in, I gave them a tour, and when I left, I gave them T-shirts, and they were just extremely excited. But we actually have, right now, between Victor's Soccer Club, Peninsula City, and Peninsula City Baseball Club, we have over 600 children involved already.
Wow.
And this is just with the 2 programs, and this takes up about 30% of the week. So the rest of that time, I mean, we're going to attract, potentially people doing Zumba in the morning.
Okay.
Because when you come in to rent the facility, you get the lavalier mic, Perk Up is there, the music is playing, and you're renting it for an hour, you give us back the microphone and you leave. So there's many options like that. Music and Me for toddlers. We are hiring some amazing kids from the Arts Academy at Bayonne High School, probably about 6 of them. They have already done face painting. They're counselors at camps. They're theater children, most of them. They're very artsy. Some do karate instruction, some do dance instruction from ages 3 to 5. So we have so many things, and our brains are constantly spinning about what we're going to do next and how we're going to do it. And basically we don't have enough time in the week to be able to do all the things we want to do. So we really need to kind of try to just focus on several things, and then let things
let it unfold on its own, because it seems to be happening already. Of course, we talked about the bubble soccer. You'll have wiffle ball, dodgeball leagues, the concession stand, leagues, tournament, and pickup games. What's a pickup game? Because back in the day, with me, a pickup game, Andy, a pickup game meant something else.
Not what you're thinking.
Not what I'm thinking. Pickup games. What's a pickup game?
Well, pickup games are usually it's kind of another word for open gym. So we would designate maybe on a Friday night when we know we're not having either soccer league or baseball training for about 2 hours, maybe 9 to 12, and we'll charge players maybe $10 to come in, instead of them having to find 10 friends to gather up and to rent the facility. They just show up. and 20, 30 people show up. They pay their $10 fee for that hour or
Oh,
2
so
hours.
So that's what. So you have it that down already. If you wanted to come in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they would just go, and the rule, winner stays on. 2 teams go out there. One goal scored. The team that's won the goal, the losing team comes off. Your next 5 people come up.
That brought up a question in my mind. How will you know? Will you have bands or stamps for people?
So basically, when you come into the facility, we have a program called Dash. It's it's a mobile app as well.
Okay.
And you'll walk up to the kiosk and you'll sign your name in, all of your personal information. You can pay through this kiosk, sign all your insurance waivers. Helps us keep track of who's coming through the door.
They do this at the raceway down, don't
Yes.
they? The pole position.
Yes.
Down in Liberty State. Yeah,
So
I've been there.
the Dash platform is actually a program that we did some research about, and we thought that it really fits our facility well. It's the same program that Chelsea Piers uses. So you could actually look on your app and find on the calendar when there is open turf, and you can pay right through your phone, and when you arrive, the turf is ready for you.
Oh,
And then the people who did pay and use this kiosk enter a different way than the parents or the spectators would enter. We also can keep track of league standings through this program, scheduling, calendars, again, insurance waivers, many other
So you're using
things
a
too.
lot of technology. I mean,
Yes.
the funny thing is, grass is grass. Green is green. The human interaction is always going to be there, but it seems to have been taken over by technology in a way that we would have never even imagined. And just from what you're saying about social media, how that's helped you to grow, we can see that using it will be a state-of-the-art facility, especially
Absolutely.
for Bayonne. Now, is there anything else around in this area that compares to this?
Soccer-wise, many, many, many miles away. Batting cages,
Same thing.
nowhere close either.
You got to go to another county.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this whole summer, a lot of kids from my travel soccer team would, pay their light rail, go all the way to Hoboken, play in Hoboken,
Oh,
come
really?
back. So you're wasting anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours just in travel. And
Right.
parents are worrying when they could just give them money, to get some food at Perk Up. And they know that they're locally. They could
That
give
their
us a
kids are
call
in
and say,
town.
listen, we're going to pick them up at so-and-so time.
And again, they can keep the money in the community and not spend it on New Jersey Transit.
Well, you're bringing up a good point, though, because you really are walking distance to the 8th Street light rail.
Yes.
So that's something else that you really do need to talk about. And obviously, you're at the bottom run of the Boulevard bus.
Yep.
But so it's easy to get to in that respect.
Yep.
The rail has opened up areas of town, and because of the train, because of the light rail, that's why you're seeing a lot of real estate development in that area too. And it's just bringing more people into town who are familiar with using other methods of, I don't know, wanting their children to have other options.
Yes.
And it seems to me like that's what this is going to be providing. You mentioned here, obviously, that there'll be an opportunity for personal training. So you would then be offering your facility to a personal trainer to come in?
We already have a contract with Peninsula City Baseball Club and Fundamentally Sound, which is Steve Giordano. He's a baseball coach at Bayonne High School. He's a tenant of ours, and he's very enthusiastic, very passionate about what he does, and he's doing strength and conditioning with the kids.
Oh, really?
I also wanted to mention we even have people from Staten Island contacting us, because if you think about it, Gertude Street is on 2nd Street. We are closer to some Staten Island residents than we are to people on 15th Street in Bayonne.
True.
So, I'm sure there's nothing right over the bridge in Staten Island, so hopefully they will be coming too and spreading the word. And then we also just, one of the problems with Victor's soccer program that the parents would complain about is there was no scoreboard.
Okay.
So
That's
there would be a
true. When I've gone to
scorekeeper.
games,
And many of the parents and grandparents would say, well, I don't know what score it is. I got here 10 minutes
and
later.
it's hard for us to
I used
remember.
to be the scoreboard. I'd have to, throw up the
Oh,
signs.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So BCB was generous enough to actually purchase our scoreboard.
Oh,
And they
really?
are sponsors. So we have an amazing scoreboard that has a buzzer and keeps track of time and the score. So it's just another really nice added feature for the parents to be able to see the score.
That's true because of the different games that we've been at. And no, it is true. You always want to know who's winning because you're not really sure. So, I mean, this isn't going to take away from outdoor sports. I mean, we still have all of our outdoor fields and kids playing outdoors. But indoors, I'm imagining that the fall and winter months probably will be your busiest times.
Yes, you don't have to worry about the snow or the rain. You know, when the kids are playing indoors, they're safe. The parents are more comfortable, not having to, you know, sometimes down 16th Street Park or Hudson County Park, the wind is just, you know, unbearable. So, you know, being inside the facility, you know, it's safe, and, you know, we're working on getting air conditioning as well. So hopefully we'll have that by next spring, and then
That'll be the summer. Kids rather play in air conditioning than 90-degree weather.
I know. Well, that is really true because I mean, and the weather climate seems to be changing. I mean, there are quite a few debates about whether or not that's true or not. But I mean, our summers are brutally hot, and I mean, adults really don't, or parents don't want their children out in the steaming heat playing games that they could be playing in an air-conditioned place. As far as expansion, or is there room? Is there room in the location that you're in to expand? Not really. Are you thinking of other locations in other towns, or?
We've actually been approached by several people asking us if, looking at the logo, if it was actually a franchise.
Like a franchise, that's
just
what I was
because
gonna say.
we had a really great graphic artist. We gave her some information, and we had another graphic artist, a gentleman, who we gave him some information, and they both customized this logo. And it really does look like something you'd see on Route 22. Or
of course, and we want to let everyone know that the sign was made locally too.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Dave from Creative Edge made this sign,
Creative
so
Ed.
we appreciate that. We're
Okay.
also working with Tony Larino from Vital Signs, who's doing a lot of our other interior work and banners and stickers and things like that.
So just, do you have stickers for the cars? Because I know people love to have stickers on their cars.
We'll be getting the magnets soon.
You got the magnets
Yeah, we'll be
coming
getting
in?
them, yep.
So you'll have a little concession stand inside there for all of the different items that you're selling as well.
Magnets, water bottles, keychains. To get back to expansion, we are looking to expand
Vertically.
that space as well, and hopefully by within a year we'll have a rooftop field right
rooftop
under the Bayonne
field.
Bridge, which is very popular in many you know,
Other
Spanish
Other countries, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what we'd probably do is just fence in the whole roof. It's a flat roof.
Okay.
Add a drainage system, turf it, and then it'd be a great view for you to be playing soccer on the brand new constructed Bayonne Bridge.
Overhead.
Overhead, even cars coming from Staten Island, like Chris said before, driving over and seeing kids play soccer or adults play soccer. It's definitely
At
going to
night,
catch
with seeing the
people's
lights.
eyes. And
Well, I'll tell you, the Bayonne Bridge, downtown, Bayonne, everything seems to be moving as quickly as it possibly can. And of course, as always, I will give both of you one of my I Love Bayonne buttons. I know that you have one already, and I know Christopher has one as well.
Thank you.
But
you.
we can kind of spread it around and let everyone know how much we love town. I hope you'll all stop over at City Sports and see what's going on there. And we know that the Senior Citizen Soccer League, I don't know, but I will give it some thought. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
thank you.
Thank you
Diane.
very much for having us. It was
You're
a lot of fun.
welcome. Take care.